Hello and welcome to D-SETI. We are going to talk about how hypnosis is dream work. And I am not saying it is like dream work. I'm actually putting forward the hypothesis that hypnosis is misidentified dream work. And what are the implications of that? So hypnosis is a problematic source of objective and historic testimony because no one really knows how it works. But it's one of the only ways that experiencers of ET and UFO contact have to work with their experiences. So people have these experiences, they work with hypnotists, even though hypnosis is a problematic source of objective and historic testimony. Given that hypnosis is clearly not memory enhancement, something else must be going on. And it appears that hypnosis in service to ET contact may be best understood as a shamanic dream practice rather than as memory enhancement. Shamanic dream practice is something that more than 90% of Earth's cultures do. It may be the fundamental technology of human development, and it is natural to everyone. Although in this Western materialist culture, we're not aware of that because we honor only one phase of consciousness, which is the waking phase of consciousness, and we cast aside all of the different phases of consciousness from sleep to dream to shamanic states of consciousness, and we say they're unreal. So hypnosis is clearly not memory enhancement. Science does not support hypnosis as a tool for memory enhancement, although they say it's okay to use it as a supplement for forensic investigation, because yes, sometimes it actually does enhance memory, very much in the way that psychics are sometimes used in forensic investigations to find people, even though that's not what happens all the time, even though that isn't directly what happens in psychic experiences. There's sometimes special cases where this really does happen. There has been a really long debate regarding the validity of hypnosis as testimony for ET UFO contact. However, it doesn't appear to matter, because hypnotists continue their practice with people regarding extraordinary experiences. Something else is going on. And I can tell you this from my own experience as a dream worker and as a hypnotist. I say, hey, this isn't directly memory enhancement. You'll actually lose credibility if you work with me and talk about your experiences, because most people don't respect hypnosis. And most people say, I don't care. I need closure. I need resolution, I need insight, I need understanding, I need to move forward with my life, and this is the way I can. And it's not disempowering, actually. This is not a disempowering state of being. You are in control of your experience when you work with hypnosis. You get to choose to listen to the suggestions or not. That's just it, right? So you're choosing to go along with this work, and the fact that you need to work with somebody else in these cases doesn't mean you're less, doesn't mean you're incomplete, doesn't mean that the memory was controlled by aliens or whatever, or that it's repressed. It just means that you are engaging in a highly typical, essential human activity that works with other people. Right? It's like it's even though, right, like to take a metaphor from the Christian church, right, that even though you are directly in relationship with God, if you're a Christian, you still might relate to a priest and a pastor because they have a different way of working with this, can provide insight, a structure, whatever. And so that's really the understanding we're putting forward here. D-SETI hypothesizes that hypnosis is shamanic dream work, and that it is best understood as mythic and not logical. This doesn't mean it's less or unreal, it just means that we have specific ways of speaking about it, ethics and epistemology that are relevant to dreams. So when you work with your ET contact experience through hypnosis in a dreamlike way, you're not producing eyewitness testimony or evidence. You're actually working with the experience like a dream that will lead to insight, empathy, healing, closure, whatever your intention is, right? So hypnosis is physiologically like a nap and psychologically like a daydream. Hypnosis involves the intentional relaxation into a trance experience, which is a relaxed state of consciousness more open to unconscious associations or suggestions than normal waking consciousness. Once you're relaxed, hypnosis offers suggestions for experiences. Most of the time, the suggestion is to experience something like a dream. And that's, I'm saying that across the board when we're doing regressions, like time regressions for memory enhancement, we're using metaphors that produce a dreamlike experience, right? You can fast forward, rewind using a magic remote control. You can look at it like you're looking at a movie theater. There's just this rough fiction that you are going into a memory, right? The fiction that guides your dreamlike experience may or may not be what's happening, right? So we offer suggestions to have a dreamlike experience. And if you look to the testimonies and the experiences that unfold in hypnotic regressions, you'll see they are actually dreamlike experiences, and they do not unfold like physicalized memory. And I say that because you can have control of that. Insights come up, fantastic beings, there's transformations and things like that. The process of hypnosis involves a conversation in which you receive suggestions and questions regarding your experience in trance. It's like, what are you experiencing? What happens next? That sort of thing. And you flesh out your experience in words that produce a record of a dreamlike experience, right? Most people describe it actually like a daydream or like using imagination. Most people go, am I making this up or not? Most people question the reality of their hypnotic experience, and that's totally fine, because you can, that the part of working with dreams is the process of discernment and interpretation, right? Even though it's a dream, it can actually be a precognitive message, a telepathic experience. 8% of dreams seem to have qualities like that. So you actually need to engage in discernment and interpretation of your dream experience. Was that just processing the day, or was that an actual communication? And this is something that you get to do with hypnotic testimony as well. Just because it's hypnosis doesn't mean it's true. Hypnotic testimony requires interpretation. It is clear that hypnotic testimony is not objective, historic, it's not eyewitness testimony, it's not memory enhancement. It is something mythic or subjective. So some people use their Dreamwork sessions to inspire historic investigation of an event to remember more. That's really a good way to use it. That's how some people use it, but you actually need corroborating data and evidence to make any sort of conclusion about the objective and historic aspects of this. It's important to understand that hypnosis often detracts from the credibility of cases because it is misunderstood. So if hypnosis is shamanic dreamwork, then ETs and NHIs may actually have a psychical reality that needs to be mediated through non-dual dream interpretation. So if we're actually dealing with dreamlike experiences, we need to deal with them like dreams. Not saying they're unreal, but that we need to bring in our tools of working with dreams with the ET-NHI contact. I mean, there may be actual reasons why the contact unfolded, why you had that dreamlike experience. And if you're just thinking about it like eyewitness testimony to prove to your neighbor whether or not ET exists, you may actually be missing the point. You may actually need to work with this in a dreamlike way, because 90% of Earth's cultures use shamanic dream work, right? Like, there's some reality out there that is worked with in these cases that may or may not be addressed when we fetishize historic eyewitness testimony. Whether or not these things are true, we may be missing the point. So what is D-SETI? D-SETI stands for the Dream Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or the Dream Studies of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, depending on your perspective. So this is all about working with these experiences in shamanic dreamlike ways, right? So ET contact is dreamlike, and therefore D-SETI honors the reality of dreams by respecting you, the dreamer, as a final authority regarding the significance of your dream, including ontological. Was it a dream? Was it real? Or both? You get to decide. D-SETI offers Dreamwork sessions And education is through the work of me, Daniel Rekshan. I hold a bachelor's in Western Liberal Arts, master's degree in East-West Psychology. I'm a PhD student in Integral Noetic Science, that's CIHS. I hold a certificate in hypnotherapy and depth hypnosis, and beyond quantum healing certification. It is important to note that both ET contact and dream work are triggering, taboo, and projection prone, so please be mindful as you engage with this subject. To learn more, to schedule time with me, or join an e-course, please go to D-SETI.org.